Tonight on CTV News, concern over a landmark court ruling.
This ruling directly affects homeowners, businesses, municipalities, and farmers.
Why the province plans to appeal a decision that gives the Vancouver Island First Nation rights and title to historic land in Richmond. Also tonight.
Love it. Need more of it. Summer's here.
The heat is on, and while some love the sun, it's dangerous enough for a heat warning to be issued. And
they've got travel information, document information like passports, which kind of blows me away.
Hackers target WestJet, making off with customers' valuable personal information. What was taken and how you can protect yourself.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Mi Jung is off this week. The province says it will appeal a landmark BC Supreme Court ruling granting rights and title over a large parcel of land in Richmond to a Vancouver Island First Nation. CTV's Ben Milger reports the ruling raises questions about the rights of private property owners.
Today, it's a hub of industry, transportation, and warehouses. But at one time, this expanse of land bordering the south arm of the Fraser River in Richmond was a summer fishing village for the Cowichan tribes.
Our lands were taken. Our fishing rights were denied. Our voices were silenced. But we remembered.
Following the longest trial in Canadian history, the BC Supreme Court sided with the Cowichan in a lawsuit against the federal and provincial governments, the City of Richmond, and the Musqueam and Tsawwassen First Nations.
In your courts, your laws, we followed those rules. And a ruling came down.
The ruling grants the Cowichan fishing rights and title to 7.5 square kilometers of land in Richmond. Some of the land is held by the federal crown, some by the city, and the rest by private owners. According to the ruling, land title grants issued by the federal and BC governments are invalid and infringe on Cowichan title to the land.
What does that mean for the private landowners who currently have that land?
Yeah, there are many answers that we need to seek clarity from a higher level of court with respect to the state of the law in general.
Although Attorney General Nikki Sharma has promised to appeal the ruling, she's not yet sure on what legal grounds.
Our team is working through what we think are quite a few grounds of appeal, potential grounds of appeal. It's not unlike many very complicated cases which are related to rights and title.
In the meantime, the province will be seeking a stay to pause implementation of the ruling, which could eventually wind up before the Supreme Court of Canada. Ben Milger, CTV News, Richmond.
Much of the South Coast is under a heat warning tonight. While some are outside enjoying it, others are being warned to play it safe. Workers and people with certain health risks need to be careful and watch out for each other. CTV's Penny Dathlos is live at Prince Edward Park in East Vancouver. Penny, sitting in the shade, great way to cool off.
Yeah, and you know, Nafisa, the kids here at the splash pad, you know, they've been having fun all day, taking the opportunity to cool down, but not everybody has that option. For folks who are working or confined to homes without AC, this is a day to be cautious.
It's grueling work at the best of times, but doing road work in a heat wave can be downright risky in these temperatures.
It's really important to have lots of water many times throughout the day. And really to continually monitor. Employers need to monitor their workers throughout the day.
And it's not just those toiling outside that need to watch for signs of heat exhaustion.
We oftentimes think of construction and agriculture, outdoor work as being particularly of concern. But it's equally important to consider indoor working environments, restaurants, factories.
While many of us are enjoying the soaring mercury, this kind of heat can impact our health.
Starting from heat exhaustion, heat rash, all the way to heat stroke.
Much of southern BC is under an Environment Canada heat advisory, with health authorities issuing bulletins about staying safe. Some of those at increased risk may not even realize it.
Elderly or very young infants and children, individuals who might be pregnant, somebody with substance substance use or mental health issues, people living alone by themselves with disability of various kinds.
Keeping to shady areas and drinking lots of water are always recommended, and municipalities across the region are encouraging residents to head to a public library or community center for the free air conditioning. But it's also important to check on elderly neighbors who could benefit from preparing something as simple as a wet washcloth stashed in a freezer.
You can take that face cloth while it's frozen and damp, put it on the back of your neck or into their armpits, and that will help cool them down quite significantly and rather quickly.
Most importantly, if you see someone with signs of heat stroke or passing out, call for help.
Anytime someone loses consciousness, especially in the heat, we want you to phone 911 right away. Not only for somebody that's out enjoying recreational activities, but also think about people that are working in this heat.
So, Penny, do we know if there have been any heat-related fatalities this year?
I've been trying to get that information from the BC Coroner's Service, Nafisa, but I do know that they may not even be done compiling last year's numbers. What is clear is that we have not seen the kind of deaths anywhere near what we saw in the 2021 heat dome, but in the 2 years that followed that, there were a couple of dozen people who did die from hyperthermia, and that's exactly why we're seeing health officials warning people to be cautious in weather like this, Nafisa.
Penny, thank you. All right, let's bring in our weather specialist, Ann Liu, and let's break down some of these warnings.
Yeah, for the South Coast, we are seeing warnings into tomorrow, so here's a look at them right now. So Vancouver Island, its inland sections and the eastern sections of Vancouver Island stretching to Howe Sound, Sunshine Coast, Whistler, Fraser Canyon, and the inland sections of Metro Vancouver, Fraser Valley, Thompson, Okanagan area. So we'll see temperatures between 30 to 35. In southern interior, you can see temperatures possibly reach 37 tomorrow, but it's the overnight temperatures as well. It'll be in the high teens, low 20s, so not much of a reprieve as we head through the overnight. Again, the heat warnings will continue into tomorrow. As you can see, that ridge of high pressure offshore, that will continue to build tomorrow, and then it'll slowly moderate into Wednesday, still above seasonal temperatures. It's not until the second half of the work week that we definitely see a cool down below seasonal temperatures. And finally, Nafisa, some rain is on the way as well. I've got the full forecast with the details coming up.
Yeah, we need that. Thank you, Ann.
You're welcome.
The family of a 29-year-old man who was fatally shot in Surrey back in March is appealing to the public for help bringing his killers to justice. It comes as homicide investigators release a photo of a red Dodge Charger, which they believe was used in the gang-related shooting of Jaskaran Singh Minhas. Their hope is that someone will recognize the vehicle and come forward with information about the suspects. In a statement released through iHit, the victim's parents say all they want is truth and closure, which witnesses and tipsters could help deliver. One man is dead after a two-vehicle collision in Langley this morning. It's the third fatal crash in Langley already this month. As CTV's Ben Nesbitt reports, Mounties are pleading with drivers to be more cautious.
A black SUV, unrecognizable. A large truck flipped on its side. The tragic aftermath of a massive collision.
Sadly, I would like to say it's catastrophic, and unfortunately we are dealing with another fatality on our roads here in Langley.
Police say it happened just before 8:30 Monday morning near the intersection of 256th Street and 56th Avenue. The driver of the black SUV was pronounced dead on scene, while the other driver was not injured. It is the third fatal crash in Langley this month. Last week, a motorcyclist was killed after a collision at the intersection of 200th Street and 80th Avenue. Investigators believe speed was a factor. They're pleading with drivers to be more cautious.
Officers have had the very difficult job of notifying loved ones that their family members are not coming home, and it's tough on everybody. So we're asking all motorists to do their part, to slow down, be vigilant, and obey the road rules.
The cause of Monday's crash remains under investigation.
Mounties say a few people have come forward with dash cam footage of the incident. They're asking anyone else who may have some or who may have seen anything to contact them. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Langley.
The possible Air Canada flight attendant strike is heating up. Today, around 300 marched in solidarity with their bargaining committee as the two sides have yet to reach a deal. Now, with a deadline this weekend in the midst of the summer travel rush, passengers are getting anxious. CTV's Craig Krause reports.
You can see behind me that this group of flight attendants for Air Canada are holding a silent demonstration as the union and the airline work towards a new contract. hundreds, joining the more than 10,000 across the country as a symbol of solidarity as the union pushes for what they're calling a fair deal.
It's unfair. We need to address it, and we need to address it now.
The union says wages need to go up, and they have to start getting paid for pre-flight safety checks, boarding, deplaning, and assisting passengers if there's a medical emergency.
Ultimately, where we are, what we make, our wages have not increased in alignment with the inflation over the past 10 years. And ultimately, over the past 10 years, it's been a 169% increase.
In a statement, Air Canada previously stated that a strike vote from the union is a normal step in the negotiation process, writing, Air Canada remains at the table and is focused on achieving a deal with CUPE that recognizes the contributions of its flight attendants and supports the competitiveness and long-term growth of the company. Air Canada has said it believes there's enough time to get a deal done and avoid interrupting the plans of thousands of travelers. Passengers are left hoping for a quick resolution as the deadline looms.
Would you work for nothing?
Well, I'm a musician, so I travel a lot, and I also have a hard time making a livable wage, and I know that they work really hard, so yeah, I think they deserve to be paid for what they do.
Now, as the two sides work towards a new deal, the union would have to give 72-hour strike notice for that to come into effect on Saturday. Now, all eyes are on the negotiation table as the clock ticks closer. Craig Crowe, CTV News, Richmond.
WestJet is warning that a recent cybersecurity attack has exposed some customers' personal information. The airline says an investigation into the June 13th breach has revealed hackers stole data from its network. While no credit and debit card information was compromised, information around customers' travel documents, like passports and IDs, may have been. One tech expert says hacks like this are an example of why two-step verification is so important.
You have to make sure that everything that you're doing is authenticated by a second method. So it's much more difficult for hackers to basically steal your identity. If you're not doing that, you're crazy.
WestJet is now offering customers 2 years of free identity theft and monitoring services through mytrueidentity.ca. The service monitors to make sure your personal information isn't being used to do things like take out a new credit card. A significant majority of Canadians seem to support the idea of young people doing a year of mandatory civilian service as long as it's not military. It's already the law in some countries. CTV's Rob Buffum has more.
Making it mandatory for young people in Canada to do a year of civilian service is popular. A survey from Angus Reid shows 7 in 10 Canadians support the idea.
Help out your community, give back to the people that gave to you while you were growing up. Working towards more community.
The concept is appealing across various types of service. 74% of those surveyed embrace it for public health support, such as working with seniors. 73% for environmental support, for example, with Parks Canada. 72% for youth service, including after-school programs, and 70% for civilian protection. Service that would include work such as firefighting or responding to natural disasters like floods.
A lot of people, including myself, might not have the best work ethic right now, and it can really help teach young people that.
Notably, a year of compulsory service, something that happens in other countries, including France and Germany, gets plenty of support even amongst those under 30 who'd be forced to do it.
2 to 3 to 1 ratio across those Canadians, both men and women under 30, say, yeah, that's something I would like to see happen.
According to the survey, the most compelling reason why people support mandatory service for young people is what it will do for those young people.
I feel like maybe this is a good opportunity for young people to get some experience in a field. Maybe they wouldn't necessarily have an opportunity to, and that'll help them maybe in their own careers.
However, when it comes to compulsory military service, like in South Korea or Finland, opinions shift dramatically, and those opposing the idea edge out those who like it.
If you're bringing life in line, that's your choice, and I don't think it should be mandatory.
But when it comes to young people donating a year of service to their community, a significant majority think it should be required.
Well, Rob joins us live from Victoria now. Rob, what's the breakdown in demographics for those who did support mandatory youth military service?
Well, Nafisa, men significantly supported more than women. In fact, men over 60, the vast majority of them actually would like to see it mandatory for folks under 30. Of course, they're not in that age bracket that would be required to do this military service. On the other hand, women of all ages overwhelmingly oppose the idea of mandatory military service. Nafisa.
Okay, Rob, thank you. Well, he's going to be on the new $5 bill, but first, a Canadian hero's face will grace a farmer's field. We'll explain coming up. Plus,
we're going to be looking for all sorts of skills, all sorts of languages, and all sorts of different types of knowledge.
Hosting a World Cup is a massive undertaking, and today, volunteer applications opened up. How many people organizers need and what they're looking for? When CTV News continues, stay with us. Welcome back. FIFA launched its online portal today for people interested in volunteering at the World Cup next year. Vancouver will be looking for thousands of volunteers for multiple positions around the city. So how can you apply and what skills are they looking for? Here's CTV's Shannon Patterson.
With 10 months to go until World Cup 2026, FIFA is putting out a call for volunteers in every host city, including Vancouver.
It's a really, really exciting time for Vancouver and also for FIFA. This is the largest volunteer program of any FIFA event.
Between 2,500 and 3,000 volunteers are being sought for the 7 games being hosted at BC Place.
We'll have folks stationed around the downtown core, folks stationed in different parts of the city that are quite popular, around the stadium, around the fan festival. And so we're going to be looking for all sorts of skills, all sorts of languages, and all sorts of different types of knowledge.
Languages and local knowledge are assets for prospective volunteers, and so is a love of the game.
A knowledge about soccer is great. You know, there are going to be folks that we can lean on that can, you know, help navigate the event itself. Past World Cup knowledge would be very helpful as well.
Vancouver was a host city for the Women's World Cup in 2015. And of course, we welcomed the world for the 2010 Olympics too, where volunteers were essential.
The look and feel of the Blue Jackets is something that none of us will ever forget. And similarly, our volunteers will be kitted out in a uniform and we'll be able to, you know, distinguish them, and they'll wear it with pride.
Applicants must be at least 18 years of age and be available for 8 shifts between June 11th and July 19th of next year. The volunteer portal is now open on the FIFA website.
It's very similar to, I guess, applying for a job, but a lot lighter touch than that. You don't have to upload a resume at this stage, but like further down the process, as we start to narrow down lists and match people to roles, then, you know, obviously there is a requirement around a little bit more fulsome, you know, background checking.
FIFA and the City of Vancouver host team will work together to choose the best applicants, with decisions expected this fall.
Some people who volunteered in 2010 will be possibly lucky to have a second in a lifetime experience, but these things don't happen, you know, all the time, and they are going to be an essential component of making sure that the event is successful.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
A BC hero is the focus of a popular corn maze in Ontario this year. Port Coquitlam's Terry Fox is being honored by the Weemet Farm. It comes ahead of Fox being added to the $5 bill this year. And the maze isn't just a fun challenge for the family to try out. It's also a chance to learn about Terry and his incredible journey.
We love corn mazes, first of all, yeah. We really enjoy those. We wish they could have them all year long, but obviously you can't. And Terry Fox was just a bonus.
For me, is a full circle moment because I grew up in Port Coquitlam, and so I now am here watching the maze and looking at the maze and seeing it grow and inviting people to come and to be part of Terry's mission of finishing it.
The farm is in their 13th season of designing their crop into different pictures. A portion of every entry fee will be given to the Terry Fox Foundation. Well, Canadians are still staying away from the States in a big way. That story's coming up, but first.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor.
Donald Trump flexing his muscles, saying only he can clean up the U.S. Capitol, announcing he's sending in the National Guard and putting D.C. under federal control. The fallout, next.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises, customizing dream vacations with unbelievable value. Call or learn more at expediacruises.ca.
During a fiery White House news conference today, Donald Trump placed the U.S. Capitol under federal control, deploying the National Guard and sidelining local police. He was also pressed for details about Friday's upcoming meeting with Russia's president. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more.
Now, today's press conference was all about President Trump flexing his muscle, saying that only he can clean up the U.S. Capitol, and adding that no one else can broker a deal to end the war between Russia and Ukraine.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor.
The U.S. president describing it as Liberation Day in D.C. In a bid to crack down on crime, Trump is placing Washington under federal control while also deploying the National Guard.
But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want.
On the streets of D.C., protesters pushed back on the idea that the Capitol isn't safe, and Mayor Muriel Bowser said violent crime is at its lowest level in more than 3 decades.
If they can place us under military control without our consent, they will carry this playbook to every community that dares to push back in the United States of America.
While using his authority on the Capitol, President Trump was asked how he'll push Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday in Alaska, in what Trump is describing as a feel-out meeting.
Russia's occupied a big portion of Ukraine. They've occupied some very prime territory. We're going to try and get some of that territory back for Ukraine.
Trump also used the term land swap, indicating that Ukraine could also have to give up some territory. Ukraine's president is not invited to the talks, and in his nightly address, cast doubt that Friday's meeting will bring peace.
На що розраховує Путін і до чого реально готується?
Volodymyr Zelensky said Putin is not getting ready for peace, but instead is getting ready for a new military offensive. Zelensky also spoke to Prime Minister Mark Carney today, where the two leaders agreed international borders cannot be changed by force, and that any decision on Ukraine's future should be made by Ukrainians. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Business leaders in BC are raising the alarm about the impact of U.S. tariffs and anti-dumping duties on Canadian softwood lumber, which now top 35%.
We have to put that duty onto our sale price. And what happens to our customers is sometimes their sales slow down, and their customers will start substituting for composite products or other hardwoods or other softwoods, whatever. But we are in danger of pricing Western red cedar completely out of the market.
He says the U.S. Commerce Department's decision to double countervailing duties on Canadian softwood shortly after hiking anti-dumping duties will hurt communities on both sides of the border. Trump has once again pushed the deadline to reach a trade deal with China. The two countries originally agreed to a 90-day truce back in May. That was set to expire at midnight. Failure to reach a deal would have put U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods as high as 245%, with China threatening retaliatory tariffs of 125%. The deadline for a new deal is November 9th. Well, Canadians continue to cut back on trips to the United States in July, marking a 7th consecutive month of year-over-year declines. Statistics Canada says the number of Canadian resident return trips by vehicle from the U.S. dropped nearly 37% compared with a year ago. The number of Canadians making trips to the U.S. by air also fell, dropping nearly 26%. The number of trips by Canadians overseas rose nearly 6% over the same time period. Ever wanted your own castle? Well, there's one for sale right here in BC, and we'll take a peek coming up. But first,
house is there. Everything looks the way we left it, except for maybe the plants, and they're a little thirsty.
Returning home, evacuees from a wildfire on Vancouver Island slowly make their way back as the stubborn blaze is now officially considered held. Police in Victoria are releasing video of a man suspected of vandalizing a synagogue earlier this month. CCTV video shows a man with a large backpack lingering near a bike outside the Congregation Emmanuel Synagogue on Blanchard Street. He's accused of scrawling anti-Semitic messages, referring to the war in Gaza on the side of the synagogue, which is the oldest in Western Canada. Police shared a photo of the suspect last week and are now sharing the video video in hopes of advancing their investigation. There's relief on Vancouver Island tonight as a wildfire burning north of Cameron Lake is now considered held. It means hundreds of evacuees displaced by the Wesley Ridge wildfire can finally return home. CTV's Andy Garland has the details.
They're the words evacuees have been longing to hear.
Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Lots of emotion. Emotion from our side, emotion from their side. Lots of thanks.
After 10 days of being under an evacuation order, more than 250 homes near the Wesley Ridge wildfire have been deemed safe. Homes including Warren and Shannon Boyers.
House is there. Everything looks the way we left it, except for maybe the plants. And they're a little thirsty.
Members of the Dashwood Volunteer Fire Department, along with other personnel, greeted people and made signs welcoming them back to their community.
Seeing these signs saying welcome home was something, and it's funny, as soon as I got up here, I just started crying.
We want our community to know that we got their backs. We're there for them, and we want to welcome them back. This is a big deal.
One of the main reasons people can return home is the 588-hectare wildfire is no longer out of control and is now listed as being held.
We've identified boundaries, we've established control lines and guards, and we are confident that given all of those conditions, that the fire will not move beyond the identified boundary.
Close to 200 personnel are on the front lines today, continuing to get the upper hand on this human-caused wildfire, which is expected to consume its way through unburned areas within the perimeter.
With this drought and these warm, dry weather conditions, we're going to continue to see smoke from the Wesley Ridge wildfire for weeks, if not months.
37 homes still remain under evacuation order, and it will be reevaluated day to day.
Welcome home. Just some information for you.
For these evacuees, welcome home is a phrase with a whole new meaning.
Welcome home. No, thank you.
Andy Garland, CTV News, Qualicum.
Accommodations on Salt Spring will look a little different this winter as the island's local trust committee has opted in to BC's Short-Term Rental Accommodations Act. Starting November 1st, Salt Spring will permit only short-term stays in principal residences and select approved units. Many standalone homes and cabins are likely to be removed from the vacation rental pool in response to the urgent need for long-term housing throughout the Gulf Islands. Current owners of temporary rental units will be required to register with the province. Failure to comply may result in substantial fines and the removal of properties from various booking platforms. Ever wanted to live like royalty? A 5-story castle, which includes a dungeon, is now on the market on a BC island. The Wolf Bluff Castle on Cortez Island is only half finished. It's going for just under $500,000. The listing includes a building with 8 bedrooms and 3 turrets, along with the land and a workshop. This is the second time the castle has been listed, and the realtor says it has gained more interest this time, but no firm offers yet. Well, after the break, maybe Anne wants that castle, but she will be back with a full forecast. Plus, while you might want to stay up late to watch the sky. Plus,
I clicked decline, and I guess that's where the scam was, because me clicking decline was them having access to my account.
Watch what you click. Scammers are using fake links to get into your bank account. We'll show you how 2 women were scammed out of tens of thousands of dollars. The CTV News at 6 continues. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar sitting around 72 cents U.S. Oil up slightly, now sitting just under $67 U.S. a barrel. Gold dropped in value by around $86. On the stock market, the TSX gained 16 points. The Dow Jones lost 200. Popular pickle brand Bix, which is made only for the Canadian market, is no longer on the shelves of some Canadian retailers. It's a consequence of the ongoing trade war between Canada and the U.S., as Bix is now U.S. owned and the pickles are made south of the border. Cucumbers and gherkins from the U.S. are subject to a 25% retaliatory tariff. While it's a jarring change for many shoppers, experts believe it may push consumers to buy more homegrown options. There could be other ripple effects that affect Canadian jobs and businesses. We're learning new details about a meteorite that crashed to Earth earlier this summer. It shook parts of the southeastern U.S. with a sonic boom on June 26th, eventually crashing into a home in Georgia. Geologists have examined the fragments and determined it to be more than 4.5 billion years old, making it older than Earth itself. Researchers will continue to conduct tests on the meteorite. Other pieces that fell will go on public display at a museum. Perseid meteor shower is set to peak this week. According to NASA, the annual event will be at its best tomorrow and Wednesday evening. However, the August full moon may make it more difficult to see some smaller meteors. Experts say the shower is best viewed where there is as little light pollution as possible. Perseids are known for their fireballs, which leave longer, more visible streaks in the sky. And Anne, it sounds like we will have clear skies, so you could catch a glimpse if you get far enough away from the city.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be clear and it'll be very warm, so I bet a lot of people will be sitting outside late tomorrow night. We do have heat warnings in place, and we have some unofficial records that were broken today as well. So Pemberton saw 37.3 degrees, 36.8 in Chilliwack, breaking a record set back in 2014. Abbotsford broke a record from 1977 at 35.8 degrees. 33.8 was the high in Victoria and 32.2 in White Rock today. So here's a look at our warnings in place. These have all lifted. We're looking at the south coast for inland sections of Vancouver Island and eastern Vancouver Island, Metro Vancouver, Fraser Canyon, as well as North Thompson and southern Okanagan and the Fraser Valley into tomorrow with temperatures between 30 and 35 degrees. All thanks to this ridge of high pressure. It will continue to strengthen as we head into tomorrow. Unsettled for the north coast and inland sections of the north coast. You will see some showers as we head through the day tomorrow. So just a reminder to beat the heat, stay hydrated, drink plenty of waters, help others, checking on neighbors, the elderly, keep pets at home or anywhere cool. Don't leave them in cars, and keep cool. Go to a place with air conditioning or a cooling center. Close windows and blinds during the day so you can keep your apartments cool. So this is what we can expect heading into tomorrow. A chance of afternoon thunder showers for the central interior for Prince George. Your provincial forecast should be popping up at the bottom of your screen. Port Hardy, 22 degrees tomorrow under mostly sunny skies, warming up to 28s for Campbell River and Comox. For the South Island, blue skies and sunshine with temperatures between 23 and 33 degrees. At 28s for the Sunshine Coast under sunny skies. Hotter up the Sea to Sky Highway, 31s for Squamish and Whistler. And for us across the Lower Mainland, we're looking at another hot day tomorrow. 27 degrees near the water, 32 degrees further inland. Touch cooler on Wednesday, still above seasonal with temperatures between 23 and 25 degrees. Clouding over and cooling down on Thursday at 21 with some sunny breaks. And then finally, much needed rain on Friday, 19 degrees. We hope to see anywhere between 20 to 30 millimeters of rain, continuing to Saturday morning before it dries up. And then it clears up for Sunday and Monday. Seasonal temperatures under a mix of sun and cloud. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So a couple more hot days before the cool down, and yay, rain. Yeah. So much rain.
We sure need it. Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome.
Well, there are new warnings tonight about the risks of clicking links in texts or emails from someone you don't know. That's how two women from Ontario both just lost more than $20,000 each. And as CTV's Pat Foran explains, only one was able to get her money back.
Just be careful.
Christina Petrozelli of Mississauga got a link that said she had to click on it to decline a purchase. Concerned she was being scammed, she did, but it led to her being hacked and her bank account being taken over.
I clicked decline, and I guess that's where the scam was, because me clicking decline was them having access to my account.
Petrozelli was scammed out of just over $22,000. Her bank is RBC, and she was shocked to be told because she had granted the scammers access to her account, she won't be reimbursed.
I have feelings, and I have people that rely on me, and you're taking everything that I had, and I didn't do it.
A spokesperson for RBC told CTV News, "We are unable to share details. However, RBC will never ask you to download a remote access application."
I clicked the link and I updated my information, and then the next thing you know, my phone stopped working.
Christy Seymour of Oshawa also clicked on a link she thought was updating her credit card. Her phone was hacked and scammers got into her account and stole almost $29,000. She had called Well Simple for 3 days to block her account but couldn't get through.
that was all of the money I've saved my entire life, and it's just gone, and they're not taking any responsibility for their part of the problem.
Wealthsimple told Seymour, your account appears to have been accessed by an individual to whom you've authorized via a phishing scam.
They're getting more and more targeted, more personalized, and more sophisticated.
Cybersecurity experts say everyone should be using dual-factor authentication to add another layer of protection and be cautious of all links you receive.
The three things that they're counting on are surprise, urgency, and that need to respond.
After CTV News contacted Wealthsimple, they reviewed Seymour's case and said, as a gesture of goodwill, we have reimbursed the losses she experienced while trying to contact our team. She was given a full refund of almost $29,000, which was great news for her.
Thanks, CTV. I feel wonderful. Like, all the worry and dread and regret and doubt is gone, and I feel great.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Still ahead, we answer the question, who do you call when Spider-Man needs rescuing? Plus,
it seemed like quite a few people had started clapping and saying my name and stuff, so that was pretty intense.
making a mark in the majors, how she went from a lifelong athlete to becoming the first woman to umpire a regular season major league game. And later, Gary's crafts. Adam finds out how a fisherman from the East Coast became a creative husband on the West Coast. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's a preview of CTV Morning Live.
Could you identify a distraction theft while it's happening to you? Tuesday on CTV Morning Live, a closer look at some of the techniques used that people often fall victim to as these kinds of thefts are on the rise. We'll be joined by Richmond RCMP. Plus, new numbers show homelessness is on the rise across Metro Vancouver. What advocates are saying could be done to help those who need it most. We'll see you in the morning.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live, weekdays 6 to 9.
Competitors from around the world braved the elements and the height to take part in an international waterfall jumping contest in Bosnia. The dive at Pliva Waterfall measures nearly 20 meters. This is the 10th year of that event. Wow. The Ottawa Senators are one step closer to moving into a new home downtown after finalizing a deal to purchase a coveted parcel of land near the Parliament buildings. The team has reached an agreement with the National Capital Commission to buy approximately 11 acres of land at LeBreton Flats. Senators have been planning to leave their current arena in Canada for a new downtown location for years. This deal comes nearly a year after both sides reached an agreement in principle, but few details around the cost and timeline have been shared. Next steps include zoning, design and approvals, plus land decontamination. Now to Major League Baseball and a trailblazing umpire who made her big league debut over the weekend. Jen Powell became the first woman to umpire a regular season Major League game. She's been rising in the ranks for years and finally got her chance on a Major League diamond. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has the story.
On this routine ground ball, all eyes were on the umpire making the call.
First chance for Jen at first. Oh, piece of cake.
Jen Powell becoming the first woman in Major League Baseball history to work as an umpire during the regular season, making her highly anticipated debut during a series between the Atlanta Braves and Miami Marlins.
It's just been incredible.
To lead things off, calling the action at first base.
Double play.
Then third base during Saturday's doubleheader.
Then Jen Powell says Olsen did not go.
Before running the show on Sunday behind home plate.
Joey Wentz likes that first call from Jim Powell.
Fans holding signs, some even wearing umpire masks to cheer her on.
We took the field, and it seemed like quite a few people had started clapping and saying my name and stuff, so that was pretty intense and very, very emotional.
It's a landmark achievement that has been years in the making. In 2016, she became just the 7th woman ever to call professional baseball games when she started in the minor leagues. The lifelong athlete turned ump, fine-tuning her skills.
And that one is called by the third base umpire, Jen Powell.
She's climbed all the ranks. She was a AAA crew chief. She did spring training games in 2024. So every checkbox has been checked.
Powell joins an elite club of female referees and umpires in other major sports, including the NBA and NFL, like her friend Sarah Thomas, who became the first woman to officiate a Super Bowl. In 2020, the Miami Marlins made Kim Ang their general manager, the first woman to hold the position in any of the 4 major sports leagues. That same year, Alyssa Nacken became the first woman hired as a full-time coach.
A historic night in the booth on the broadcast.
Now, from calling the action on TV to the field itself.
And they get the out there and then safe at first.
Women are making a mark in the majors.
It's just fuel for the fire. I'm going to go out there and work harder tonight, harder tomorrow, and just keep it going.
A BC driver made quite the roadside impression after being pulled over by police because he had a gas nozzle hanging from his vehicle. Police say the driver was pulled over while leaving the Shambhala Music Festival last month. First, the driver was angry he was being pulled over until police pointed out the reason why. They say his embarrassment was punishment enough, and they let him off with a warning. Now, I've never driven away with the gas nozzle still, but I have driven away from a gas station with my coffee still on the roof of the car.
Who hasn't?
And I was just mad because I had to go in and get another coffee.
It's a waste of money.
It is. Listen, sometimes even superheroes need saving. A man dressed up as Spider-Man found himself in a bit of a sticky situation after getting stuck on a roof. Bystanders say the man had been volunteering to entertain kids in Virginia. He was scaling a building Sunday afternoon when he injured himself, leaving him stranded. Onlookers watched on as firefighters worked for more than an hour to get him down to safety. Witnesses say he may have dislocated his knee, but seemed in good spirits and will be back on scene to save the day another time.
Wow.
Can't hold Spider-Man down.
Oh, my goodness.
But it's a good lesson for kids, you know? Even heroes need help sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So, Yasmin, what do you have cooking for the Late Show tonight?
Well, we are tracking a growing wildfire near Osoyoos Lake. It comes amid high temperatures and windy conditions. Plus, new research from the Fraser Valley finds melatonin could be a tool for survival in extreme heat for strawberry plants. We'll tell you those details tonight.
Color me intrigued.
Yeah.
Well, after spending decades at sea, a man from Vancouver Island was forced back to land to battle a disease. While navigating unwanted and unexpected changes, he found a new creative outlet in some old golf clubs. Adam explains in tonight's Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Gary Wagner never imagined he'd end up turning a propane tank into a pig when he quit school at 14 to become a commercial fisherman.
As long as I'm on the water, I'm happy.
Gary worked on the East Coast for a while before he fell in love with Pam.
He was fun to be around. We had good times together.
But then, Gary went looking for work out west.
Kissed each other and off I went.
It didn't take long for Gary to get hired on a halibut boat, or for Pam to show up one day.
I didn't even know she was coming.
What did you think of that?
Oh, I loved it.
So they got married, started a family, and Gary supported them at sea for almost 50 years. Until a cancer diagnosis
not good
forced Gary to get facial surgery.
It was sort of a shock.
And retire earlier than he had hoped.
I got tired of sitting around, maybe feeling sorry for myself.
So Gary decided to turn his bad situation into something good and volunteered his time to help others in whatever way he could.
Oh, well, they said dead can't fix it. It can't be fixed.
But when Pam wondered if something could be done about a bunch of old golf clubs destined for the dump, no one imagined Gary would do this.
I've never, ever done anything like that in my life.
It was so satisfying to be so crafty, Gary started turning all sorts of unwanted things into all sorts of wonderful creatures.
Tinker with this and that and other things.
After he began turning discarded golf balls into ladybug eyeballs, leftover aluminum siding into bumblebee wings, and outdated propane tanks into pink pigs you could put plants in, Gary was surprised that strangers started asking to buy them.
I built it and somebody likes it besides me.
But Gary being Gary, he decided to sell his creations at cost and make no money.
I just do it for the joy of doing it.
And while he once worked tirelessly to fish food, Gary's now working creatively to spread joy.
And it brings enjoyment to other people. And that's what life's all about, is sharing happiness.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, North Saanich.
I can see one of those pig planters on your sprawling patio.
Definitely. He's given me ideas, I tell you.
I feel like people would pay good money for those.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's amazing.
You have a gorgeous closing shot.
I sure do. Our scenic snapshot for tonight. Take a look at this stunning sunset from North Vancouver. Thanks, Blaine, for sending this beauty in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
I'm not going to ever really be sick of sunsets.
No, never. No. Keep them coming.
Someday. CTV News continues online anytime. You can visit ctvnewsvancouver.ca. Stay up late with Yasmin, 11:30 tonight. And, of course, you can start your day with CTV Morning Live. Thank you for sharing part of your evening with us.